There's a good amount of retro-looking arcade-style games out there, but Conga Master does things a little bit differently. But should this game dance its way onto your console, or does it just have two left feet? Conga Master is a unique playing, sprite-based arcade style of game, where you're playing as someone who goes to a dance club and a variety of other music-themed events, getting other people to join in your conga line. The game features a handful of different stages filled with various references to pop culture and media, and an overall decent soundtrack to go along with each themed level, like a roller derby, a bowling alley, a nightclub, and even one based on the Enchantment Under the Sea dance from Back to the Future. You start off by selecting which character you want to play as. There's 32 characters, but most of which are locked from the beginning. In order to get more, you have to earn tickets and then win them in a roulette-like wheel, which can be a bit frustrating if you're trying to get a particular character. Each character has different stats broken up into 4 different categories that will affect how they're able to get people to join, as well as their turn radius and stuff like that. The game features 3 modes of play: the story mode, multiplayer modes, and the endless mode. In story mode, you go from club to club and area to area, trying to do your best to get a huge combo, but also having to fill requirements. There are 4 different types of dancers out there, and you have to get a certain number of each of these types in your conga line in order to complete the goal for that level, and thus being able to complete it. You have a momentum meter that's going at all times, and if the momentum runs out, you end up losing and have to retry. The way that the game works is your character is always dancing, and you use the L2 and R2, or the L1 and R1, whichever one you feel more comfortable using, in order to turn your character around. You can hold down one of these in order to get them kind of go in a complete circle. You then have to go up to the various people dancing at these places and get them to join your conga line by dancing around them for a period of time, filling up their meter. Once the meter fills up, they join your conga line. The bigger the conga line, though, the faster the momentum goes down, so you have to be diligent in order to keep racking up combos to keep that momentum meter filled. While someone's trying to join you and you're filling up that interest meter, if you accidentally bump into them or some of the other hazards get in the way, it will actually reset their meter and you'll have to start refilling it again. The game starts off thankfully pretty easy, but once you make it past level 3, things definitely start to ramp up in difficulty and you have to get better and bigger combos in order to keep dancing. There are power-ups along the way in the levels themselves. You can bump into certain objects by speeding up, and to do that you hold down L1 and R1 or L2 and R2, whichever ones you're using, hold them both down, and you will move a bit faster, though this eats up more momentum, and you need to do this to bump into certain objects to knock power-ups down. These power-ups will either freeze time for a little bit so that you won't lose any momentum, or it will actually have a bigger radius for you to hit multiple people dancing at once, so you don't have to be quite as close in order to get them, and a few other things thrown in to help you. There's also bonuses that you can get through the roulette wheel that you use those tickets for, and if you end up failing on a level and retry it, you do get 1 spin of this wheel in order to start off with a potential increase in momentum and a few other power-ups to start you out, so you're not starting off at the bare basics. After I got used to the controls, I was starting to have a lot of fun. Though, a few levels in, I started to fail a few times and decided maybe I should change up my characters, and I backed out to the main menu only to discover there's no saving during the story mode. It doesn't save your progress. Once you go back in the story, you have to start over again from the beginning. You get an infinite number of retries during the course of this story mode, but you can't change characters, so whoever you end up picking, you're stuck with unless you decide you want to start over again, which was a bit frustrating. Once I figured out how to build up some big combos though, I was definitely getting the hang of it and was able to breeze through the last couple of levels of the game. There's even a bonus level if you're able to perfect the story mode a couple of times, but I wasn't able to do that quite yet. After you complete a level, you and your conga line go outside and are traveling to the next club, I assume, in which case a UFO comes over and starts taking away the members of your conga line. You're rewarded with bonus tickets that you use for the roulette wheel after a certain number are taken up, and if you have a few people left in your conga line, you get to carry them over to the next mission in the story mode, which I highly recommend trying to keep at least a few people around because it will help you out as you progress. There was some noticeable frame rate issues during this particular mini-game that happens between levels, and once I got a certain number of people in my conga line, once it got past 50 people, I definitely noticed some slowdown. The story mode is also pretty short. Even with me failing a few times and having to restart from the beginning after I made it to level 4, it still only took me an hour and a half in order to get through it. There is, however, the Endless mode where you can pick any of the levels you've unlocked and beaten in the story mode and play them just to see how high of a score you're able to get. There's also the multiplayer mode, which is going to be a lot of fun if you're going to have friends over to play with you, though it's only local multiplayer. There's a variety of different games with different themes and up to 4 players can play them, so that will definitely add a little bit of playtime if you have friends to play with you. From the technical side of things, other than the frame rate issues I mentioned, the game thankfully didn't crash on me. Conga Master is available now on the PS4, Xbox One, and Steam for $9.99. It does feature a full trophy list, including a platinum. Overall, Conga Master is a fun-playing little arcade game. It actually surprised me how much I enjoyed the mechanics here. The issues stem from some of the technical issues, as well as the overall short story, and especially not being able to save progress or even change characters during the course of the story, which would have been nice. Thankfully, the price isn't too much, and I think you're going to be able to get your money's worth out of it if you end up enjoying the gameplay, but with everything said, I'm going to be giving Conga Master a 6 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.